I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter, here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So, the very first resume we have up is a front-end developer, and they have gotten basically no interviews out of maybe 150 to 60 plus. It's a little confusing what they wrote to me. They said they've had many people review their resume, including multiple CS professors, career search helpers on campus, and peers, and I will say most of those are not good. I'm not here to, insult a lot of those people, but typically the problem with campus career coaching is that their information was correct, but the job market has changed, and what has worked 5 years ago may not work now. So I've found that they usually get some stuff right, but a lot of stuff wrong as well. And you haven't really gotten any responses. So let me tell you how to improve your resume. If we are looking for front-end developers, which thank you for telling me what you are. The more specific you can be with what you're looking for, the more I can help you. That's just how it goes. So for front-end devs, what we're looking for is JavaScript, React, Angular JS, HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, REST for APIs, SEO, WordPress, Git, Docker, Jira, Vue, Next, and a bonus. These are not needed but are nice to have is extra languages, cloud, UI, UX, SASS, and TypeScript. So the first thing that's wrong is this is a mess of formatting. So this is how I want. Wait, actually just saw something. No, you said front end dev. You said specifically front end dev. Is this the right resume? Did I get the yes? This is the right resume. So you said front end dev. And the very first thing here says full stack, which is not what we would want. So you're already kind of confusing it. But what I want you to do is write it like this. Okay, this format is boring and basic for a reason. People get confused about what is and is not important in formatting. People think they need to make it look pretty for recruiters. That's not the case. We don't have eye for pretty. What happens is recruiters on average review about 50 to 100 resumes in an hour. And in that hour, they only have about 15 seconds for each resume. I know that doesn't add up to a full hour, but there's a lot of other stuff we have to do in the ATS to reject people, move them forward, and that kind of thing. So it's essentially only 15 seconds we get to view your resume. And when you've reviewed 35 resumes in a row, and then you get to something like this, and you only have 15 seconds to find this stuff, it's a problem. So that's why this formatting is good, is it's boring and it's basic, and that's what gets you a job, because we just need to find the information. So first off, I don't need any of this. And again, this is stuff for full stack. You're applying for front end. I am aware that front end is technically a part of full stack, but a front end dev, a back end dev, and a full stack dev are going to have different keywords. So don't confuse those. If you want to do full stack, you need a separate resume. So this can be safely deleted. This can be 2 lines. This can be 2 lines. I think the 8 times dean list and magna cum laude is pretty impressive. So this should be 2 lines, nothing bolded, just like this, because this is the only thing that's bolded, this is the only thing that's bolded, and this is the only thing that's bolded. Then skills. This can be safely deleted. Skill sections are irrelevant in your resume unless you're a very, very high level manager, and even then, probably not needed. Everybody puts skill sections, and it's just a waste of space. All right, so professional experience. Nothing here should be bolded. Produced user-centric company website prioritizing engagement interactive features. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for this. Embedded email JS. I assume that means JavaScript. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. There's literally nothing here I need. Incorporated a dynamic feature to visually display all exported functions. I don't care about any of that. I care about React, but here's and CSS. So here's the problem. I have to go all the way down here before I get to the very first thing I care about. It's kind of like going to, let's say going to a fast food place, and you're like, hey, I would like a burger and fries. And they say, okay, cool. Here's your order. This is sushi and a potato salad. And that's not what I ordered. This is the same thing. I'm not looking for embedded email JS and ILX next. I'm looking for JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, and PHP. So, engineered a work log, blah, 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 using Tailwind CSS. And then everybody puts Tailwind, but usually you can just put CSS. Overall UX, which again is a bonus. Yeah, there's like nothing here I need. So, I don't see anything here. And people are rarely going to read past this part of the resume. So this can be, again, 2 lines. This can be deleted. This can be deleted. And then you have a lot more space over here, which I need you to have actual bullet points. So this is a very bad front-end developer resume. In fact, I see more stuff for full stack than I do for front end, but it's still not good. Let's see. Developed a user-friendly web app using Next.js, TypeScript, Tailwind, the interface rather than small. Like, this is like your best bullet point in the whole thing. I want you to write them like this. So please, if you need these keyword lists, I can give them to you in the comments below, but this is definitely not going to pass because there's nothing here that they would want in a front-end dev. There's a little bit for full stack, but even because there is a lot of overlap, but even then there wouldn't be enough for a full stack role anyway. So please, the basics are what gets people jobs. For front end, this is what I actually care about. If it's not here and you don't show me how you did that and why you did it, I just don't care. And it's not to be mean. It's just, again, it's like going to a burger place asking for a burger and fries and they gave you sushi and a potato salad. I'm sure it's good sushi, hopefully. I'm sure it's good potato salad, but that's not what I came here for. So, if this review was helpful and anybody else needs a resume, you can send it to me in the link below. It's free. I review every resume that is sent to me. If you need more help, please join my live stream. That's where I get the keywords from at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. It's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 p.m. And please like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps me out. So now let's go to the next resume. This is a full stack software developer position in the United States. The EU and the US have slightly different keywords for full stack, so this is the US version. So what we're going to be looking for is mostly similar to front end, but there are enough differences that you want to focus on this. And I think now that you can see a front end and then now we're going to full stack where the differences lie. So TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, probably the most important thing. Node, Angular, Next.js, or MongoDB, SQL, very important to have any kind of SQL. I don't know why companies accept any type of SQL. They just do. React.js, APIs, REST, Cloud, huge. If you have Cloud, it's huge. Agile is nice to have. CI/CD is good, but not critical, but still good if you want to have it. And cross-functionally is important for some reason in full stack. I don't know why I keep seeing cross-functionally in full stack, but I do. And bonus points are for architecture, extra languages, and Git. This person does not know their ratio. They just started applying. They just want some real down-to-earth advice about the quality of my resume, and that is what I am here for. I want to try to give honest review and feedback, even if it's not nice. I don't want to be mean, but I want to be brutally honest so that you can change it so you can actually get a job. Because I feel like being too nice could end up hurting people, so I hope I don't go too far to the meanness. So they want to know if this resume is sufficient to getting interviews in today's job market. Let's find out. So, full stack, blah, blah, blah. I hate this formatting. Full stack engineer, specializing in web applications, cloud solutions, collaboration, skilled in React, TypeScript, AWS, with a strong focus on cybersecurity. So again, none of this matters. I know people put summaries. I really wish I could find whoever created the summary on a resume and tell them not to do it because they're hurting a lot of job seekers, and skills sections as well. Again, these will be the right skills, but I need you to tell me how you use them and why you use them in bullet points or they don't count. So this is largely not needed and can be safely deleted. Where's your education? Education, that's a lot. Communications. Okay, so this is normally education should be at the top, but this isn't related to the types of work you would be doing. So this is okay to put at the bottom. If it's not related, then you should put it at the bottom. So region construction. So formatting wise, again, please use this formatting. I'm not going to go over it too much because I kind of did with the previous one, but this is the best formatting you can use. I swear to you all, it looks like boring and basic and ugly, and that is what recruiters want. We want the ugly, basic, boring formatting. The entire point of formatting is so we can find the bullet points correctly. So this again, not bolded, but let's see if the actual keywords are good. Developed and maintained a drag and drop scheduling dashboard with user management, debugging, and reducing labor costs by 30%. Don't care. Built automated CI/CD pipelines with GitHub Actions and Docker containers. Good. Ensuring rapid, reliable deployment. So these are not all the keywords I would want. I do like sometimes GitHub could be and sometimes Docker, but CI/CD is. So I kind of want you to replace this with like this stuff, because this is more important. Again, you can't just put a little technology section down there. I tried that out as a thing for a bit, but it really doesn't work. You need them in bullet points. Implemented MySQL relational databases on AWS. Good, with customer user interface enabling the extra tens of perfect. Built applications, tables, relationships, and APIs on QuickBase platforms, saving the employer $1,000 to improve efficiency. I don't care about that part, but I do care that you built applications. Like, you could have just ended it here, or like to improve efficiency over manual methods. So again, you don't really want to have a lot of brags in your resume. I know that sounds weird, but the resumes are not brag based. So, but my biggest problem is this is the most important part of full stack. This is what I want. I want your first sentence to have this, and you do have it. It says Python, JavaScript, let's see, RESTful APIs. Yeah. So basically I need this stuff in here, and you have some of it, but your very first sentence should have TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and AWS if you can. So, which you do have it here, but it's always good to have AWS up front. So yeah, this is the biggest problem. If you wasted a lot of space here, and this doesn't have anything. So I just need you to put the keywords in here, and I need you to make this a little bit more understandable to the layman. But you were correct on the type of keywords you needed. These are almost all correct with the exception of Vite, Netflly, and QuickBase. You probably want to remove those. And then don't have a technology section, but put them in the bullet points. So would this pass? Honestly, this is probably a C- resume. I'm expecting this to get like 1 in 50 to 1 in 65. But if you do the changes I make, you could probably get like 1 in 25, 1 in 35 or less, which is the number of applications it takes to get an interview. So you were correct on the keywords. You just did not put them in the right space. Your formatting is off, but again, it's not the worst because it's still legible. It's just you have a lot of wasted space. So let's go to the next resume. So this is a resume of a people services global onboarding supervisor. And I will be perfectly honest. Also, this is in the UK. I don't know what this job is. From what I could, normally what I do is I try to base it before I look at the resume, but I had to even search for the resume. And this could have been like 3 or 4 jobs. From my understanding, this might be something like a HRIS implementation, which is a human resource information system implementation specialist focusing on onboarding, but I don't know, and that's kind of a problem. So the first thing you want to do here, because this person has applied to like 100+ jobs and they don't really get anything, so you need to find the job title that works for you. All right, it could be multiple job titles. Sometimes 3 different job titles mean the same thing, particularly in marketing for some reason. But you need to find the job title, and then you need to get the keywords for there. I think this is close to WFM, which is workforce management, but I don't know. So I can't give you keywords because I don't want to give you the wrong one because they're the most important one. But I can tell you a lot about this resume and why it's bad even without keywords. So the first thing you said is, I feel my resume doesn't pass the ATS. That's not how ATSs work. Every single person gets an ATS wrong. I don't know why this is the most widespread rumor, but ATSs have a default setting. And while they can screen candidates and that stuff is out there, realistically, you're not going to get an ATS screen in about 99% of the roles you do. I am in the recruitment space. I talk to a lot of other recruiters. I have used Workday. I have used ADP. I have used Taleo. I've used a couple of other customized ATSs. So to say that AI and ATS screens don't exist would be a lie, but it's really, 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 really rare. You're really not going to get your resume screened by the ATS. It's super rare, unless you're applying to AI companies, because I assume they would have it. But unless it's AI companies, you're probably not even going to find 1 in 100 jobs. That's just the fact. So how ATSs actually work is really not what people think, and it's just first come, first serve. The faster you apply, the better your chances, because ATS's the default setting is first come, first serve. And then what happens is the recruiter will look at those in the order they applied, and then go through them manually and find those keywords. And then if you meet the keywords, about 75%, a lot of other people get confused. They think you need to match 100%. You really don't. It's honestly closer to 75%. Some jobs it's only 50%. and then we move them forward. So realistically, if you apply to a job and you are applicant number 255, you might not get seen. That is the case, because once we find enough people, we don't keep looking. So that is how ATSs work, and that's why the resume doesn't pass the ATS screen, is because ATS screens are basically, they don't exist because of how rare they are. So what you do want to do is find the keywords, because I am actually like, I for my real job that I do, I'm doing stuff with workforce management consultants right now, and I don't even know if this is a WFM type resume. So you need to be very specific as to the type of role you're going for, and then based on that, put those keywords in for what it would be. So I don't know what that is. You're going to have to find it. I wish I did, but I don't want to give you the wrong keywords. So when you do, what you want to do is you want to make your resume look like this. And here's why we can focus more on formatting is this doesn't matter. Again, you don't want a summary. It's really bad, nor an objective. And when you do work experience, where's the years of experience? I don't know. I don't know at all. There's no years of experience here. So I don't know what Project Hawkeye is. Maybe that's important for like this particular role, but I didn't see anything with this job title, so I can't tell. So you need to be very specific and then put those keywords in. Because this is why right here, where I thought you might be like a WFM or like HRIS consultant, but I still don't know. So be very specific with what you're applying to. Make your formatting like this. Include the months and years in your experience. You absolutely need those. And then resubmit once you have those and you found a couple of job titles that work, and I can actually give you the keywords that will give you a shot at getting a position. So, because right now I don't have enough information. So that's how ATSs work. They're really just big old filing cabinets for resumes. People get the wrong idea about what they do. And I know there's going to be a ton of people in the comments arguing me about it, but like seriously, the ATS screens in AI are so rare. Even at Amazon, there is a prolific recruiter who's Amy Miller, who also has a YouTube channel, which I think I said prolific wrong, whatever. And she's at Amazon, and she also is like, that's not how ATSs work. It's first come, first serve, basically. So anyway, that's how the ATS works. I hope this was at least useful. I don't want you to have to wait and not get anything, but I can't do anything with this job title because it didn't exist. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of an AI ML intern. They did not tell me their ratio. They did not tell me anything else. So the only thing I have to go on is this resume. At its basic level, an intern is just going to need to know a basic knowledge of AI. So like ML, LLM, NLP, that kind of stuff. Python seemed to be the most common language, but I assume that you could also get away with having maybe Java or C, one of the C's. And then we need some of the frameworks. These are not a full list of the example. We just need a little bit, like Skibbity Learn, which I think is Sci-Learn, but I refuse to pronounce it like that. But it's Scikit-Learn. No, that's Skibbity Learn. TensorFlow, PyTorch. And then as per usual, this is huge. Ability to work well with others, takes direction and criticism, and can multitask. I need to add the multitask. So those are basically true of every internship, and most people don't put the last ones in. They just assume that they need to put all the skills in. No, you kind of need to show you can work well with others. So let's see. So formatting is bad. Also, I feel like the font for this is extra small. You really want to use 10.5 Arial because, like, it's dyslexic friendly, which if your recruiter's dyslexic can help out, but even if it's not, it still works better for people that are not dyslexic. So the University of Blank, Bachelor's of Science, Biomedical. I don't need all of this stuff. Also, I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't need all of this stuff. This can just be University of Blank, and this can be one sentence, one line. Again, this formatting is very hard to read. I don't need the skills and interests section. I would like this to be up top. It's very beneficial to show other languages. When you are searching for a multilingual candidate, it's very hard because nobody usually puts it in your resume, at least in the United States. So if you do know other languages, I wouldn't say beginner for French, but if you do know other languages, I would put them up top right after this little section. So again, please use this formatting. Developed a comprehensive laser speckle analysis using Python and PySide images. Okay, enhancing precision and speckle pattern. What is speckle and why is it important? Optimize contrast for writing it from MATLAB to Python. So here's the thing. This is solid because you say Python. But I need more than just Python. This is an AI engineer specifically. Where's the AI? Oh, here it is. Okay. Collaborative developing machine learning. Good. So you want to put machine learning and then put in parentheses ML. Models for brain-computer interface aimed at controlling prosthetic leveraging techniques. Again, that's okay because it has machine learning. Including Optima Hyper. Yeah, the rest of this I don't care about. Mentored grade school students in mathematics and teacher tailored to each student's style. This is okay, but again, I don't like how you wrote this. There's a lot of like brags in it, and again, you don't need to brag. I don't need to know that you fostered style and understanding and appreciation of mathematical concepts. Please be more basic. Facilitated conflict resolution. You don't need to say facilitated. It's just people are adding like a bunch of extra. Kind of reads like AI. I don't even know if this is AI or not, but like there's so much extra fluff in here. Conflict resolution among students, employees, employee effective communication strategies. Like what? You can't just say employed effective communication strategies. You need to tell me what they were and how you did that. Promote a collaborative team. This would be an okay way, even like this is mid. All right, you really need to focus on how and why you did it. I need to know because that could actually work with other people, working with others. Spearheaded the entire competition, strategic sales, definitely. Again, yeah, there's not a lot I need here. I don't know if this would really pass for an AI resume because I see like one thing of AI. Like you don't need all of these, and you can have other keywords, but the only thing I see that mentions AI is this. I need more than a single 2 words. I need way more. And if there's rest of it as AI, I would not recognize it. Because again, there's some stuff way down here, but you really want this to be the most important part of your resume, right up here, this part. So does this pass? Not really. The sentences are too flowery and filled with fluff. There's like barely any of the keywords I'm looking for. And it's like almost qualified, but not really, at least based on what I've seen. So you need to add some of those keywords. You need to tell me how and why. The how and why is very important. You cannot just tell me, I effectively communicated. No, you didn't. You need to tell me how you did it and why you did it. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a project manager, Agile. So, while there are like Agile project managers, typically Agile is like not the main requirement. They want a project manager who is Agile rather than the title itself being that. So if I looked at the wrong parts, I'm sorry. I just really couldn't find that many that were specifically project managers of Agile rather than project managers that used Agile. I hope that makes sense. So what we're going to be looking for in a project manager in general is the details, how and why you did what you did, how you made things happen compared to how you did things. This is huge. PMP and CSM, which is Certified Scrum Master, and I always forget PMP. Those are huge. Those are really good. You really want them. I want to know that you've done customers and stakeholders, Agile, which in this case, yes. And then the industry, because again, a project manager of a healthcare versus a technology or a SaaS will have a little bit of a different keywords, and that is going to depend on the industry. So I just want to know what industry you're in, basically. That's what I'm looking for, enough keywords to know that this is the right industry. Then I want to know the number of team members. Was it matrix, cross-functional? The number of projects, your budgets, how you multitask, how you used resources for success, and how you solve problems and influence. So that's a lot, but realistically, it's how you did what you did, the details of it, and then a couple of keywords. So this person says they do not have any U.S. experience, but they want to apply in the U.S. That is good. Just make sure your visa is correct for it. I feel like a lot of people don't tell people outside of the U.S. how to work in the U.S., but weirdly enough, you need a visa that allows you to work in the United States before you can work in the United States. I don't know if that's weird, but like you need the ability to work here first before you can work here. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that, because otherwise we cannot work with you if we just like physically can't. So you need the ability to work in the United States first, which will not be on the resume. But if you are applying from maybe like outside the US and you have the visa, it's good to put it there just in case. But even then, I know people think like H-1Bs and everything are taking all of our jobs, but realistically, a person who is on a visa is in for a much tougher job search than somebody who is a citizen or a green card holder. So it's honestly, you're gonna have to like, if a normal person would get an interview in 1 every 50 applications, someone on a someone on another type of visa would get 1 in 50. So let's see at least if they meet what the requirements. So strategic, project, professional. I don't care about this. Don't care about this. Every single person has a summary. I really don't care. So normally what I'd say is you put the education up top, but I don't know if that's needed because you already show PMP and CSM in the name, which I think is good specifically for PMP and CSM. This is the type where this cert is huge. So it's okay to kind of put it at the bottom because this is assumed that you have it, but I'd still like it at the top. But they can get away with it. So delete the summary, professional experience. Transform project delivery methodology by leading agile transformation for 12-member cross-functional team, proving delivery predictability by 30%. Okay, so the problem with this is I don't know what you do. I don't know what Footloose Labs is. I don't know what industry that is in. And this is very, 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 very broad. So you want to be very specific, all right? I don't know what improving deliverability predictability by 30% is. The person reading your resume does not know. Maybe the hiring manager will, but sometimes the hiring manager doesn't. So this part, I don't even like transformed, but I would say like this part is okay. The transformed in this is a little confusing. Delivered 500K product initiative, 100% alignment. Yeah, I don't know what any of this means. Competitive. See, this part is good, which is managing competitive stakeholder priorities across verticals. Verticals might be too of a corporate term. I would probably use maybe a little bit less corporate for that in case they don't know what verticals is. Design comprehensive project health metric system that reduce risks by 35%. Risks of what? And improve resource. What is a resource? There's too many percentages. So again, stop putting 1,000 percentages. It's okay to put a percentage or 2 or 3 in your resume. But if your entire resume is percentages, it's bad. So I really am not seeing a lot of details about this stuff, right? Like, how did you do this? That's the thing that's missing. You are telling me what? You are telling me why, even if it's too technical. But how? How are you doing this? I need to know. How are you interacting with stakeholders? How are you convincing stakeholders? How are you managing 12-member cross-functional team across what parts? And what industry is this? I don't know what you are. I don't know what Footloose Labs is. I'm not going to Google that. We don't have the time for it. If you're applying for a software job, like a software project manager, hypothetically, and this is a software thing, I wouldn't know. I don't know what this is. Is it healthcare? I don't know. So it's too technical, and you don't tell me how you did things. The what you did is more important for IC roles. The how you did it is more important for like manager, project manager, and I know those are different, director level roles. So the how you did it is arguably more important for higher level roles. I need to know how. You can't just say, I succeeded. Cool. How did you succeed, bro? That's what I need to know. So next one, orchestrated end-to-end delivery of GIS-enabled DigiThan dashboard. What is that? Improving service visibility for management chain compliance with project KPIs. The compliance is good, but what is a GIS? I don't know what this is. Led cross-functional team collaboration between product and IT departments. Establishing governance structure reduces requirement list. Again, there's too many percentages. Almost everything has a percentage. So this doesn't really pass because, again, like formatting aside, you don't tell me how. You have to tell me how. I cannot tell you I'm a good recruiter. I cannot just say I am a good recruiter. You would not believe me, and you would be right to, because I didn't say how I'm a good recruiter. I am a good recruiter because I have specifically placed third out of 55 other recruiters in my first year at a specific company. And then at my other companies, I was the person that would train other recruiters on hard to fill requisitions. I was essentially the problem solver. If there was a really, really tough role, I had the bandwidth, I would be the one to essentially solve it. And I would create documentation and other essentially trainings for recruiters to increase their placements. That's why I'm a good recruiter. So you can't tell me you did this. I need to know how. How is more important for this type of role. So that's all I can say on this resume. I hope it was at least helpful. Again, I'm trying not to be too mean. I want to make sure that it's still helpful. And if you all like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Send your resumes for free in the link below. And if you need more help on my Twitch chat, that is where I do all of this keywords and I record the videos and I help with other stuff that I can't really easily record. That's twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST to about 2 o'clock, give or take. The recruitment work takes place ahead of that because that's where I make my money. And I will see you all on the next video.